Hey, welcome back to another Netcast. I'm Rich Lopez, Quantrix Authority. Sincerely appreciate you joining me today for episode number 100. Organize your SQL data links into a matrix, then use an expression. I've been doing 100 of these. I'm absolutely amped about that. I look forward to doing, at least 9,900 more before I run out of spots here. But I love Quantrix. I hope you're finding these videos useful. Since it is episode 100, I wanted to do something special for it. I wanted to show you probably my greatest trick in Quantrix Modeler. And it's something I discovered 2 years ago, and I use it probably every week, if not maybe every day, and it is a huge time saver in Quantrix. So if you're using SQL code to pull in data using data links, I encourage you to listen up. What I do is I go ahead and about every matrix, every model I build, I always have a query master matrix. Okay, and in that query master matrix, I have a category. I can call it matrix name, doesn't matter what you call it, and then I have a step ID. And within step ID, I always have something called query final. Okay, and what I do is I say I want to pull in some data, and here I want to pull in some trial balance actuals from our general ledger and our ERP system. And so I go ahead and I create an item under the category matrix name, and I'm going to call it trial balance actual. And that actually matches the name of the matrix within the model. I found that doing that really allows me to, as I look through my model browser, it allows me to see by an icon that, hey, this is a data link and so on. So then I can go to the query master, I can look for that name within matrix name here, and then I can see very quickly what the source is for that data. I don't have to go through the data wizard and edit the data link and so on. I can just go straight to the query master, I can look at the matrix name, and I can see the source data for that matrix. So that's a huge time savings for me. So what I do is I create this query master matrix as I discussed, and then typically I develop my SQL code outside of Quantrix. I use Oracle Developer or SQL Server Management Studio, I think it's called. And once I have that data or have that SQL code all written, what I do is I go ahead and I copy it and I paste it into this query final with the associated matrix name. Okay? Then what needs to happen is I go ahead and I create a data link. And I'm just going to edit it because I've already got it created. But what I do is I go to data link. I would go to create data link, but I'm going to edit data link on this one. It's a JDBC data source, okay, as you can see here. And I'm going to just kind of skip through that. Let me make sure I get this over here where you can see it. And I have my configuration set up. I'm going to click next. It's going to go out there and talk to it for a second. And I may pause it here and wait for it. So once I've configured my data source, I go here to the data link wizard and configure JDBC data source, and I think it defaults to this column screen. What I do is I always go to the SQL screen, and then what I do is I type in with curly braces an expression, and I say open curly brace, and I put in my query master as my matrix name and double colon, and I put in query final here, and then I do a single colon and I go trial balance actuals, okay, and then I do a close curly brace. So what I'm doing is I'm telling Quantrix to go out and find query master, query final, trial balance actuals, and use that code in the expression. I click next. Hopefully it goes and fetches it correctly here, and I may need to repause. Okay, now it goes out and it evaluates that expression and uses the SQL that I have here in Query Master, pulls in my data. I go ahead and I'll just put this in a two-dimensional matrix. And what happens is you can see that this data is updated based off of the query here. So the reason why I like this so much is, let's say that I decide now kind of ad hoc that maybe, I just don't want GL element 3. I want GL element 3, and I think 6170 is another GL element. 3. I want 6170 in there, okay? So again, if I go here, this is GL element 3. If I were to go to filter and I were to go to values, you can see that 6170 isn't in there. But once I go ahead, I've entered it in here now, and now I go ahead and I just refresh my trial balance actuals, and we'll wait for it to refresh, and I'll pause again for it to do. So now it's gone out and it's refreshed my query. I've refreshed the data link, and you can see now that I have 6170 in my data set. So again, I didn't have to go into here, I didn't have to go to edit data link and then go fool around with the custom SQL in order to get this new GL element 6170 in there. I could just go ahead and put it right here in this little matrix in Query Final, and then click my update, and it updated it for me magically. So that is a great way to kind of organize your SQL statements and your data links in Quantrix. Again, I use this type of functionality all the time. Saves me a boatload of time, and I hope that you'll enjoy it, and I hope that you'll put it to use. If you have any questions about data links or anything else in regards to Quantrix, I hope that you'll reach out to me at quantrixauthority@gmail.com. And I want to make you a Quantrix master, so please join me again for another episode of Quantrix Authority with Rich Lopez.